Ladies and gentlemen, hello, and welcome to this new episode of Sudan in Focus weekly news magazine, which focuses on Sudan news and events, aims to give the Sudan TV audience a broad and first-hand information about what is going on in Sudan. So let's go.
President of the Transitional Sovereignty Council (TSC) General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan held talks in Juba on Wednesday with President of the Republic of South Sudan Salva Kiir Mayardit on promoting and developing bilateral relations and advancing prospects for joint cooperation. The Undersecretary of Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Hussein al-Amin, said in a press statement that the visit of General al-Burhan to Juba came within the framework of the ongoing consultations between the leaderships of the two countries, indicating that the visit also came to provide support to President Salva Kiir and the government of South Sudan on developments in the situation in the South Sudan. He added that TSC President briefed his brother, President Salva Kiir, on the situation in Sudan over the backdrop of the rebellion led by the terrorist Rapid Support Forces (RSF) militia against the state and its institutions. The Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces pointed to the progress of the Armed Forces, Regular Forces, and Joint Forces in all areas of operations. President of the Transitional Sovereignty Council (TSC), Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, received on Tuesday a written message from Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi regarding the promotion and development of relations between the two countries to serve the interests of the two brotherly peoples. This came during his meeting in Port Sudan with Egyptian Minister of Foreign Affairs and Immigration Ambassador Badr Abdulati, who handed over the message to him in the presence of Minister of Foreign Affairs Ambassador Ali Yusuf. Member of the Transitional Sovereignty Council (TSC), Deputy Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, General Shamsuddin Kabashi, affirmed the determination of the Armed Forces and other regular forces to liberate every inch defiled by agents and traitors and vanquish the terrorist militia targeting the unity of Sudan. During his visit to Sinnar city, accompanied by Lieutenant General Muhammad Abbas al-Labib, Deputy Director of the General Intelligence Service, and Major General Mu'tasim Abdullah, Deputy Director of the Defense Industrial System, His Excellency stressed that there will be no negotiations, armistice, or ceasefire. They said there will be no path for political negotiation without resolving the battle militarily. Member of the Transitional Sovereignty Council (TSC), Assistant Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Lieutenant General Engineer Ibrahim Jabir, chaired on Friday the meeting of the Supreme Committee for Currency Replacement in the presence of the Minister of Finance and Economic Planning, Dr. Jibril Ibrahim, the Minister of Culture and Information, official spokesman for the government, Khalid al-Aisir, and the committee members. The Minister of Culture and Information explained in a press statement that the meeting discussed a number of important topics and final arrangements for resuming the replacement process, pointing out that despite the exceptional circumstances the country is going through as a result of the terrorist militia destroying the capabilities of the Sudanese people and their economy, the committee has put in place a number of controls and procedures to ensure the safety and smoothness of the exchange process.
المؤتمر الصحفي الأسبوعي لوزارة الإعلام.
The Armed Forces (SAF) have revealed detailed documented information confirming the United Arab Emirates (UAE) involvement and participation in the rebel Rapid Support Forces (RSF) militia war in Sudan, indicating that the UAE provided the militia with advanced weapons, including strategic drones and guided missiles that only countries possess. SAF said in a briefing provided by the Ministry of Defense to journalists in Port Sudan on Monday that the UAE provided RSF militia with SGPR drones that it obtained in 2015 from the Serbian company and other drones from the UAE Advanced Research and Technology Holding Company that it obtained in 2019. Minister of Culture and Information and Government spokesman Khalid Al-Yasir has announced that the war in Sudan has taken another turn and a dangerous development with the emergence of strategic weapons, including drones launched from Chad. The government spokesman renewed in a special briefing provided by the Minister of Defense in Port Sudan on Monday Sudan's accusation of United Arab Emirates UAE, stressing that the government has conclusive evidence of the UAE's involvement, pointing out that the UAE, in addition to its support with weapons and funding, is leading an international and regional political move to manipulate things to cover up its involvement in this war.
Sudanese culture possesses a distinctiveness and beauty that is highlighted in the citizens, notably the Sudanese Jalabia, which is the national custom and one of the most recognizable features, distinguished Sudanese men from those of other nationalities. Broadly, the Jalabia is a loose-fitting garment with long sleeves and no collar. It's often worn with a large turban and scarf and can be either white or colored. The Sudanese Jalabia is part of the heritage and expresses identity and culture. It's a piece of clothes, white or colored, considered the national custom for men in Sudan. The types of fabric used include cotton, polyester, and thread, with luxurious fabric for the Jalabia being imported from outside Sudan. Also, accessories accompanying the Jalabia include the turban and markub made of leopard skin. The Jalabia is the traditional clothes worn by men and comes in different colors, but white is the most common. It has a simple design often made from cotton that is suitable for hot climates. The turban worn with the Jalabia is a long piece of clothes wrapped around the head, with wrapped style and color very good. In some communities, the turban had a religious significance, and in Sudan, it also carries social significance. The type and quality of the turban's fabric reflect social status, religious and tribal affiliation. Each ethnic group has a unique way of wearing the turban and Jalabia, which also has environmental significance due to the hot climate reflecting its root. Sudanese people have managed to preserve their popular heritage while modernizing it to blend traditional with contemporary trends, thereby maintaining their culture and unique clothes.
This mobile footage shows civilians rounded up by the paramilitary rapid support forces in Me'elig in central Sudan's Jazeera state. The RSF raided the town earlier and local groups say they killed several. A body can be seen a few meters away from the group. Are you dead or not yet? The man filming asks. The body doesn't move. More footage shows other people being rounded up. The man filming here accuses them of fighting on the side of the army in a town known to have no military facility. The RSF has been fighting Sudan's army since April and launched an attack on Jazeera state in December, taking it over after the army withdrew. Facilities such as hospitals, universities, and banks were destroyed. At least 500,000 people were displaced due to the RSF attack on the state that once hosted the largest number of internally displaced people from the current conflict. Local groups known as resistance committees say the RSF has committed atrocities that include sexual violence, forcible disappearance of civilians, and arbitrary killings. They say many bodies have been left in the streets for days, and a lot of civilian homes turned into military camps. Many people who have tried to leave since the takeover have been forced to stay in the state. Those who were able to flee say they did so out of fear of falling victims to the RSF.
We left our homes and had to move through allies and lesser-known routes. When we left Madani, we saw the evidence of the atrocities that were committed by the RSF, the dead bodies on the streets. We feared for ourselves. We fled only with the clothes that we were wearing.
In response to the accusations, the RSF told Al Jazeera that those who targeted civilians were not part of their forces and described them as outlaws. But with the history of the group targeting civilians going back even before the start of the current war, survivors of the crimes in Me'elig and Jazeera say they don't doubt who's responsible. Hiba Morgan, Al Jazeera, Khartoum.
Folklore is a collection of ancient arts, stories, tales, and legends confined within the customs and traditions of a specific population group in a country, in addition to knowledge that is related to folklore, which is transmitted from one generation to another through oral narration, and each generation may add new things or delete things to ultimately be compatible with the reality of particular society. Sudan has many materials. Folklore such as a kutya is used for housing. It is a traditional architectural form, and it is made of clay and plant stems, and it has a conical shape. A saj is a flat vessel with a slight convexity made of iron with a smooth surface. It is used as an akira plate which consists of corn and millet. Al-banbar is a traditional seat made of wood and rope used for sitting. Al-muoshalibid is a small open net made of ropes to preserve food and is hung at the top of the pedestal to keep food away from dust and insects besides ventilation. Al-mafraka, it is like mixing tools made of wood and used to stir food during cooking. A gufa is a palm basket used to carry vegetables, fruits, and meat. Al ladaya, it is like a stove consisting of 4 stones arranged in a square shape, in the middle of which firewood wood is placed in the stove or cooking pot. A dukkha, it is an iron sheet that is like an open oven in which the Sudanese kisra prepared. Al-karkriba, it is a small sturdy piece or board of palm leaves that is used to roll out or spread the dough of Sudanese kisra flakes. Al-tabaga is a singular form made of palm leaves. It is used either to cover food or to keep vegetables and fruits. A sabata, it is a rug made of palm fibers or palm fronds used in Sudanese weddings. The Sudanese heritage contains the previous generations of customs, traditions, etiquette, and values. Folklore includes stories, legends, poems, games, songs, and popular proverbs besides materials folklore and oral folklore.
The winter agricultural season for the year 2024 promises to be successful and going well in the northern state amid great demand from farmers, associations and companies. It was noted, according to surveys conducted by the Sudan news agency SUNA with farmers, that this season will differ from previous seasons, as a result of early preparations and prevision of agricultural production inputs in advance. As the seasons received great attention from the federal government, the governor of the northern state, and the Ministry of Production. The general manager of the Ministry of Production and Economic Resources said the focus on cultivation the wheat crop this season has reached a great due to the current circumstances with aggression of a number of winter cultivation areas this season. He says that the northern state must play a major role in bridges the gap with regard to the wheat crop in addition to the cultivate advantages of winter agriculture in the northern state. The general manager of the ministry stated that the areas planted with wheat so far have exceeded 26,000 acres out of a total of 205,000 areas targeted for wheat cultivation this year. He noted that the total areas targeted for the winter season are estimated at 520,000 acres, which includes all the winter crops for which the state is famous. He added that the mechanisms for the preparation had been prepared as that remained for the season was cultivation of wheat. He said that they expected the cultivation operations for the wheat crop to end during the middle of this current December. The general manager of the Ministry of Production and Economic Resources confirmed his reassurance about the cultivation of the targeted areas. He pointed out that the World Food Organizations will support the winter season in each of the localities of Marawi, Al-Golid, and Dalago for wheat cultivation. As for spices, the general manager of the ministry said that their growth is going well. Cultivated with vegetables reach 18,000 acres, including potatoes, tomatoes, and various types of vegetables, which have begun to arrive in the state's markets. The areas planted with garlic, fennel, and fenugreek reached 15,000 acres, representing 95% of the areas targeted for spices. The general manager of the ministry, Engineer Othman Ahmed, urged farmers, agricultural departments, project departments, and cooperative society to exert efforts, perseverance, and focus on step-up production in support of the Battle of Karama by providing food to all the people of Sudan. He stressed that the ministry will provide full support of all farmers in various departments. The one responsible for guidance and prevention will remain among the farmers in the middle of the fields until the season is crowned with success. Success is only from Allah.
Muhammad Al-Amin Hamad Al-Nil was a Sudanese musician and singer born in the city of Wad Madani in Al Jazeera state. He was considered one of the icons of contemporary Sudanese singing and music and one of the most famous of them. He has a big role in developing the Sudanese music and made in the known abroad. His uncle Balla Yusuf attracted him to the world of music and singing from young age. So he mastered the oud instrument and then the oud, an instrument that he managed to do when he was only 12 years old. Both whom he signs, Muhammad Ali Jubaira, فضل الله محمد، هاشم صديق، دكتور عمر محمود خالد، إسحاق الحلنجي، عبد الباسط السبدرات، رضوان محمد أحمد، إبراهيم الرشيد، معاوية السقة، السير كنا، مبارك حسن خليفة، دكتور مبارك بشير، صالح عبد السيد أبو صلاح، خليفة الصادق، محمد الحسن، صلاح حاج سعيد، محتصم الإزارك، أبو آمنة حامد، خليل فرح. He also sang to the great poet Nadar Gabbani. Muhammad Al-Amin participated in many musical festivals inside and outside Sudan. and presented many concerts in Arab, Europe countries, and the United States of America. The most important festivals are the first culture festival Algeria, the world youth festival in Moscow, the musical art festival in the Netherlands, as well as several festivals in Germany. His last participation in 2014 was in China, combined by China music and recorded by Chinese television. Al-Nilan University awarded an honor Dr. Mr. Muhammad Al-Amin 2010. Muhammad Al-Amin is characterized by his funny abilities and melody described as easy, absence and very few of Muhammad Al-Amin's songs have been melodied by other. Any melody by Muhammad Al-Amin, his art fingerprints, which are not similar to any other fingerprints, many suffer from his, and perhaps this is the reason for the lack of young imitators of Mr. Muhammad Al-Amin. The musician and instrument Osama Babikir believes that the color of the melodies is classic in the form from the president of musical introduction and various syllables, and that he is very influenced by the melodic school of Egyptian Professor Muhammad Abdul Wahab, whose influence was great in terms of the big songs performed by the artist Kulthum. Muhammad Al-Amin sang in all the color of the national, emotional, and heroic singing, which was reflected in more than 50 works of art, but it in all showed great abilities to make the listener to him show her beautiful beauty. Muhammad Al-Amin studied his national education in Wad Madani School and Al-Sharqiyya Primary School, was a music loving brother who is good at playing the oud. Sir Muhammad Fadlallah, who blinded Muhammad Al-Amin and taught him how to play the oud. However, his health condition and suffering with poor fashion caused him not to complete his career at that time. Of region and Madani, Muhammad Al-Amin, which is the anthem of October 21. Then Muhammad Al-Amin shared the epic story of Revolution, which is written by Hashim Siddiq with artists Khalil Ismail, Usman Mustafa, Bahauddin, and the Kurdufaniya artist Bilena Al-Sanusi. On the anniversary of the October Revolution in the presence of leader Ismail Al-Azhari, he also sang the anthem of Barricades from the words of Dr. Mubarak Hassan Khalifa and the melody Makki Sid Ahmed. Muhammad Al-Amin is by the Fندق abilities and the melody described as easy, absent, and very few of Muhammad Al-Amin's songs have been melodied by other. Any melody set by Muhammad Al-Amin carries his artist's fingerprints, which are not similar to any other fingerprints, and perform of the song many suffer from this, and perhaps this is the reason for the lack of young imitators of Mr. Muhammad Al-Amin. The musician and instruments Osama Babikir believes that the color of the melody is classic in the form from the present of musical introduction and various syllables, and that he has very influenced by the melodic school of Egyptian Professor Muhammad Abdul Wahab, who was influenced was agreed in some of the songs performed by the artist Kulthum. Muhammad Al-Amin sang in the colors of national, emotional, and heroic singing, which was reflected in more than 50 works of art, but in all the shout abilities to make the listener with the show beautiful beauty. The end Muhammad Al-Amin, he died on November 13, 2023 in Virginia in USA.